Hello, I'm Aubrey Shepherd, and John Rule is here with me, poet, former English professor for many years, and man of the Ozark National Forest. John, we want to share a video about you that's going to be broadcast, or not broadcast yet, but shown on the 20th of April at the Fayetteville Public Library, early afternoon.
2 p.m. Yeah.
And we've got a trailer for that, and we're going to run that. It was created by your granddaughter,
Yes,
Sarah Moore Churchill.
Sarah Moore Churchill. Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll get to that now.
In the yellow light of the risen sun floating in the southeast notch, I come walking toward the river over frosted moss and crisping grass. I stand to listen closely to the speaking wind's low moan. Consider the wisdom of loss, noting weather wrinkles in gray wood, cracks in lichened stone. Pause to taste momently the ring-packed potency in things, to sense the arc of willful chance, turn to the new sun's glare off the ice-frame moving mirror of the river, and just for this brief contracted space, hearing and feeling the cold wind zinging past, I'm alone, and not alone, enveloped, once and all, in peace, at peace, and of a piece once more with everything.
Well, John, let's look at some photos from Fayetteville, Arkansas, and they're all about milkweed. And some of that grows out at your place. Let's look up here.
Very important. Yeah.
Very important for the monarch butterflies. That first one was, okay, this one is tall prairie milkweed. This is swamp milkweed, and that is a monarch butterfly. That's also swamp milkweed. And that's purple racens, it's called, Asclepias purpurascens. That's called common milkweed, and that is butterfly milkweed, and it's got a monarch on it there, but in that previous picture you saw, it had the state butterfly, the fritillary that is famous on your license plates, some people's. This is Asclepias viridis, and it's got a caterpillar on it. And also, now this is purple milkweed again, a different view. This is one that grows along the road out there to your house, a white milkweed.
Right.
And this is viridiflora, Asclepias viridiflora. Viridi and viridis both are variations on green, but these are important for those monarchs. And you've got more butterflies in the spring than the whole town of Fayetteville, I think. Especially
I'll be surprised.
fritillaries and swallowtails and you know, all these things that depend on native species. And you've got such
morning
variety.
cloaks.
Morning cloaks. You had those already.
Zebra swallowtails, all sorts of things.
Are they out yet?
Spice bush swallowtails. Yes, the zebras have been very
Really?
Yeah, they've been really active.
I've seen more at your house than I've seen.
Well, usually
it's
the local bees are active, then all of the butterflies pretty much are following soon.
Honeybees are the single native
This is
bees.
this is what I noticed particularly is the Italian yellow honeybee.
Okay.
That actually that escaped from my last hive when all the hives were destroyed way back a number of years ago when a bee truck overturned at Artist Point. And the whole neighborhood got out, and everyone lost their hives except for maybe one for each beekeeper. So these things are all connected.
Yes, they are. And we have to have those honeybees because that's all most people know. They keep them in hives and take them and pollinate the fruit and vegetables in the all the way out to California and all over the country. But in the things that grew wild and are native, they don't really need honeybees. They get by with the
They have the leaf cutter bees and a lot of very small,
many others, and
pods.
they all depend on native plants. Well, until next time, this Aubrey Shepherd asks you to do your part to help keep the water clean, the air pure, and the woods green. And remember Earth Day on the 21st of April, 21st Sunday afternoon at World Peace Wetland Prairie. And the day before that, the 20th, come out and see John Rule's movie at the Pebble Library. See you. It's Aubrey Shepherd again, and I want to hear John Rule read some of the things he's read for me before, and maybe some others have heard them, but it'll give you an idea of the type of thing he'll be reading on the 20th of April at the Fayetteville Public Library. A free program to all.
Well, most of my themes are either connected with my wife's dementia, which we suffered through for quite a long time, about 5 years, and on the other hand, on the sustainability of nature. So I'll read one short nature poem and one about dealing with the wandering of the human mind when it loses its home and control. So first I'll read a little poem written back in the 60s when we first went to the woods. This is called Occupied. An eye, a puff of feather, an innate will combine to make a sound of wings in winter, a place where bushes shake. A golden fly bounces twice above a chilly riffle and is gone. A silver belly, its tomb, bubble for an epitaph. Beneath my light, fugitive crawfish pause in flight, parachute down liquid skies, printing a specter in the mind of spiny limbs and stalkish eyes. My wife's scream makes me leap to Copperhead, concealed in its delicate shades to drink the blood of drinkers at our spring. It's a world of endless flashing forms, circles of tender victims, familiar enemies. Life beads on me like dew. I could scarcely live where I would see no feather skim the surface, paw print in the sand, or even one leg-waving wood tick on my hand. And how will those men fare who break beyond our tent of air through deserts of abstract suspended years? Will they find pets in algae tanks? Should they be picked for phlegmatism, belief in God, pinochle skill? For me, though Lord of much, full belly, friends of heart, my loving counterpart, without the eye shine in the thicket, that flicker by the stone, I wouldn't exist. I'd be alone.
Very nice.
And then, I'll read this one called Fossil Laughter, which was, my wife would make kind of interesting comments to me in the nursing home over the several years that I helped her at meals and things, and sometimes she wouldn't know me. So that was kind of funny in a way, because she'd sometimes say, "Where is my husband?" And once I said, "Well, I'm your husband." And she looked up at me and said, "That's too bad." So this is called Fossil Laughter. Memory is now what's left for me alone to hold of us together, since hers has ebbed away. All those lovely life sounds, a daily dance of laughing games, moving, cooking, loving, sucked away long since by sinister cell chemistry. And even for me, that golden pod of time shines distant and discreet, a glowing water ball shielding fragrant days of silken glide and taste, doubled sensation, a sweet and lightsome sharing. Now viewed far off through smudgy lens from some dark winter wood, while all her own poor remnant of recall fades like colored newsprint, burning, crinkling fast in the blackened grate, the headlines dying last, leaving my name alone, a final noun in railroad Gothic to signal my mere presence, a bedside figure whom she thanks most graciously for simple acts of kindness, assures me, whoever I am to her, I'm no longer sure, that it will be all right if I should linger or even spend the night. Then taking my hand in both of hers, she gazes into my eyes, and in that sexy, throaty tone that pulled me in her life a full half-century ago, she asked me, like she really wants to know, how's my own family? Aren't they jealous of this time I spend with her? And where's my wife?
John, they're heartbreaking, but they're little miracles.
Yeah, it's a kind of a
that you've made.
piercing sort of thing for a while, but I saved all these, and they mean a lot to me.
Well, I think people who come will really appreciate your.
They have in the past, both young and old, and the Over the Hill gang seems to get a little bit more out of it, but it's all an education about this one-way trip of life that we go through.
Well, I know you've been writing some new stories based on the real past, and you do a great job, and I'm looking forward to sitting down with you and hearing you read some of those and seeing them in print before long, I hope.
Well, that's great. You're too kind. What we want is the affirmative truth. Anyway.
Thank you for being here, John.
Thanks for letting me.